The Sports Desk is all about league play this week. North Baseball hosts Lawndale for a rousing game of ball. And the Spartans host the Tartars. How much does South toughen up against Torrance? And on the ladies' side of the diamond, the Daily Breeze says that South is a team to beat, but can the Lady Tartars execute another plan with Washington on the hill? And around the bend we go, to the track with some athletes that don't look back as they leave their opponents in the dust. Get fired up, folks, because it starts right now. Hello, and thanks so much for tuning into this edition of the Sports Desk. We got a lot of prep sports coming your way, so let's go ahead and begin. The Saxons began their hopes with a grand preseason filled with all of the senior heavy talent our roster could offer. Then the realities of a rough preseason schedule came along with a 6-10 overall record. However, they began their 2011 league on the lighter side with Lawndale and Centennial. It's a good thing, too, since they will need the momentum from what should be wins as they get to the heart of their grinding Pioneer League schedule that begins in a few weeks. Ghazal Hassans brings you this report and his fanatical baseball play-by-play. Roll it.
Pioneer League opener for the North Saxons. They take to the diamond to host the Cardinals of Lawndale. Bottom of the first, Brandon Gideon leads things off for North, and he launches this one to left. It'll fall in. He'll get extra bases. He'll end up on second base with a double. Brandon claps his hands together. On the next play, his man Jack Kennedy hits a ground ball, and he moves over to third, playing aggressively. Two batters later, one out, bases loaded, Gideon on third base. Here comes the pitch, and here comes Gideon. He's going to try to steal home, but he's out.
The first two pitches, he was in the windup, and he was slow, so I thought I'd get a good jump on him, but he just sped it up, and he got me.
Still no score, top of the third inning. Cardinals, runners on the corners and two outs. They put on the double steal. Hayden Weir fakes to second, throws home. Andrew Angaro applies the tag, inning over. We now go to the bottom of the third, 2 on, 1 out. Andrew Agnaro laces a single to left. Jack Kennedy coming around third. He stops, but he scores anyway ahead of Alejandro Alvarado's throw. It'll be 1-0 Saxons. Through 4 innings, North righty Hayden Weir makes the lead stand up. We go to the top of the fifth, Cards threatening, 2 on, 1 out. Give Mom a call and make sure she brings home some detergent on the way home, because this one is just plain filthy. Ricky Mercado at the plate, breaking ball, swing and a miss. Hayden Weir gets him out of the inning after 5. Saxons lead 1-0. We talk with Weir after the game about his curveball.
Well, a lot, because I've been working on that more the past couple weeks, because I have a good fastball. It's getting in there, but I need something to catch them off guard, and that curveball's really been working out lately.
We also discussed Weir's success with Saxons head coach Mike DeMaria.
He was great. Yeah, he was from the first pitch. You could tell early with him whether or not he's got it or not, and he had it today. When he's on, he's getting his breaking ball over for strikes, any count, and he's locating his fastball down and getting ground balls.
We go to the bottom of the sixth, still 1-0 North. Lawndale lefty Daniel Villegas nearly matching Weir. 2 on, 1 out for Brandon Gideon. Hit is high, hit is far, hit is gone. 3-run home run for Gideon, who is 2 for 4 on the day. He'll come around third base, and it's 4-0 North leading Lawndale as we go to the 7th inning. Brandon Gideon gives us his deep thoughts.
I was ahead in the count 2-0, and I was just looking for a fastball right down the middle, and that's what I got. And I just trusted my hands and let it go through the zone, and lucky it went out.
4-0 lead, more than enough for starter Dalton Weir. Here's the final out. George Escobedo tagged out here by Dalton Erb at first base for the Saxons. They come away with the victory. Pioneer League opener in baseball, it was the North Saxons over the Cardinals of Lawndale, 4-0. Hayden Weir threw a 4-hit shutout over his 7 innings, 6 strikeouts and no walks. The big blow came in the bottom of the 6th inning when Brandon Gideon launched a 3-run homer over the dead center field fence. Reporting for the Sports Desk, Ghazal Hassan.
Thanks, Ghazal, for that game report. North won its first league game over Lawndale 4-0. Hayden Weir records the W by a complete game shutout. And you go ahead and you see that Brandon Gideon shot that 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. And also of note, Andrew Angara, who went 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 3rd. North is 7-3 with that win over Lawndale later in the same week, bringing their record to 2 wins and no losses. Let's now talk some Pioneer League. The Spartans go into the Pioneer League looking to win the whole thing this year, if it weren't for another team, by the name of the Torrance Tartars. The Spartans go into the series against the Tartars on a 2-game win streak. That didn't last very long, though, since the Tartars took the first of 2 games by 6 runs. The Spartans want to win this game. No, they need to win this game. And the Tartars, do they let them? Well, let's go ahead and see. The Tartars would make it very difficult for South to get even against their win earlier in the week. As a matter of fact, they would score in every inning of the game except for the first. Let's jump to the 5th when it gets really interesting. Spartan senior Chris Aldape knocks this one in left field off of Torrance pitcher Anthony Condors. And check out the wheels there on Aki Yamamoto, who lands at 3rd. Spartan catcher Richie Herrera is up next. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, and Herrera gets it all the way out to the deep center field, bringing the Spartans just a couple of runs closer to the Tartars' lead, still in the 5th. Spartan 3rd baseman Jake Scarpetti's up next. It's a 1-2 count. He's going to get it down in the dirt, and they're going to throw it past first base. It's going to be error on the Tartars. Going to bring Richie Herrera all the way from 2nd home. Score is 5-3 Tartars. Senior pitcher Cody Dodge is on the hill for the Tartars. The Spartans are just starting to rally. What are you going to do, Cody?
It was 5-4 at that point with 1 out, and they were coming back, but we had to shut them down. So I came in, the team backed me up with the defense. We got it done.
The Tartars' defense and pitching would definitely hold the rest of the game, but their offense was just getting started. And it's a wonder that Coach Ollie Turner's arm didn't come out of socket as he's signaling home Miller Olson and Max Ishikawa on that play. Tartars are up 7-5. And Mike Encinas' bat is going to give Trent Gilbert a chance to come home, which is well-deserved considering he was really the fire starter for the Tartars late in the game. With 2 RBI doubles, which helped bring the score 10-5. Spartans would have another chance, though. With bases loaded in the 6th inning, Christian Garola makes an effort for the Spartans to get a little bit closer to the Tartar lead. The Tartars have more fielding errors, which Aki Yamamoto and Chris Aldape take advantage of. Score is now 10-7 Tartars. In the 7th inning, the Tartars were really leaving the Spartans in the dust, scoring 7 runs. Final score is 15-7. With so many runs scored, there's usually one that stands out above the rest. Let's talk to Eric Petrocelli.
I hit it and I started running, and then they look and it's over. So, I wasn't expecting it. It was just kind of in the moment, I guess. I was just trying to get on base, and 2-0, I was looking for the pitch right there, and he got it, so I was glad.
And the whole of the Tartars are glad that they are starting their Pioneer League season 4-0. The Spartans definitely have sparks of genius baseball, but against a team like Torrance, it's kind of tough to keep them going. There was a combined total of 11 pitchers from both teams. Just one of those games for unlucky weeks for the Spartans, who, as mentioned, lost to Torrance 9-3 earlier in the week. The current Pioneer League standings, though, let's go take a look into it. The second week for most of the teams has Torrance on top after beating Centennial and South. If you'll remember, they played a couple early games before spring break. North is the second with 2 wins over Lawndale. In 3rd and 4th place is Centennial and Lawndale. They do have some firepower, making them not slouches that we're going to have any easy wins over. Gundo and South haven't really had much of a shot just yet, still early, and they're at the bottom of the league for now. Moving along across town, the Bay League looks promising for the Warriors as they swept 2 games against the reigning champions, Mira Costa. They really surprised them. And the first game, they tired out Costa with D in a 4-0 win. In Game 2, Colin Nelson pitched a superb game, going 2-2 on the season. Nelson was helped out by John Palmer, Joey Notch, Austin Waters, and Thomas Bray, who all did their part by executing offensively. The Warriors, who take on Peninsula this week, they have a high winning percentage, so they're going to really have to do well on both sides. And jumping over to the Delray League now, the Knights went into last week on a 4-game losing streak and didn't look back. They beat St. Paul twice. Congratulations, fellas. The duo of Johnny McLaughlin and Alex DeGurgis shut down St. Pauli's 3-1. The second game was won by a one-run game at 5-4. And these two games are a big deal since they help out their league standings. But most of all, it gives them momentum to build on to the rest of the season. There's still a chance to get to the postseason for these guys. Coming up, we've got some softball on the other side of the break. And the Lady Spartans host the Lady Tartars to a duel on the mound. It's Christina Washington versus Carolyn Snodgrass, and some offense too. Who wins?
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs, but in this land of plenty, there are kids that don't know where they will get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength in Food Network and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at NoKidHungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really? That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'm gonna show you this dance. In la keg, a la king. The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience. To all the Peace Corps volunteers, past, present, and future, thank you for your service to your country and the world.
Welcome back. It's time for some softball talk. It's the Spartans versus the Tartars, and the expectations are high for the seasoned Lady Spartans, especially with their tough non-league schedule. The Tartars' preseason's thoughts were, hey, we're young, but so what? We still have talent, and we're going to go back to the playoffs. Just watch us. So as the Pioneer League battle begins, the past is the past, and let's go ahead and take a look at this game. The South Spartans were off to a great start, getting up early over the Tartars 2-0. But with strong D like this, check it out, they're going to get Alex Kossoff right as she goes home. The Spartans won't do any more this inning. It's just starting to heat up for the Tartars in the 4th inning. Torrance's Lexi Ponce is going to knock one off of Carolyn Snodgrass, who has had a pretty good showing. This single is going to load the bases, and there's only 1 out. The Lady Tartars look poised for a comeback in the 4th, but Carolyn Snodgrass has other plans with back-to-back strikeouts. She closes it down. Bottom of the 4th, Christiana Duarte. She's gonna knock this out for a triple. Check her run in the bases. She's got some wheels on her, but unfortunately, that would be the greatest highlight of the 4th inning. Top of the 5th, Cameron Watts is at bat for the Tartars. She's going to smack a line drive right to Carolyn Snodgrass, but she couldn't get it done fast enough. Plating Danielle DeCastro, cutting South's lead 2-1. Snodgrass has just walked another batter, so bases are loaded. She'll walk this one, bringing the Tartars another run home. Game is tied at 2 in the top of the 5th. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th. Bases are empty. Ashley Phelps is going to jack that one all the way to deep center field. It's a shame no one was on base because they would have made it home. And the game is still tied. Ashley Phelps, though, feet first in the dirt. But Torrance would again hold off South, taking the game to extra innings. It was due to strong pitching from Tartar Christina Washington, who finished with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. We go to the top of the 9th, where it's big hitter Cameron Watts who rips this one off. It's a huge hit. It's going to bring DeCastro home and giving the Torrance the first lead of the game at 3-2. Tartars' Courtney Varela slaps this one to get to second, and she's going to bring home Watts, extending the lead 4-2. The Torrance's scoring rally didn't end there. Monique Ramirez has a big bat, and she's going to plate a couple of runners. And Lexi Ponce is up next. She's the one going to third now. She's going to extend Torrance's lead to 6-2 before finally putting the Spartans' ninth inning chaos to an end. In this good old-fashioned pitch and duel, it was South Carolyn Snodgrass and Tartars' Christina Washington comes out with the win. This sophomore is ready to lead her team in this tough Pioneer League with this first league win.
I guess I just don't get flustered that easily. It wasn't really a big deal to me. Just keep pitching, because if you get frustrated, you're gonna lose it. So just keep working through it. Know your team can back you up, and they did.
The Tartars' Offensive Player of the Day goes to Cameron Watts. She fills us in on what they need to do in the next game.
We just need to start earlier and not wait till the last minute.
Getting the bats hot a little bit earlier in the game will benefit both South and Torrance as league play really gets into gear this week. Just wanted to say thanks to South alum Nick Ekbatani for field producing that game. We should see you on camera pretty soon. Torrance won big over South with a 6-2 victory. It's clear that Christina Washington is a force to be reckoned with. Yes, I can speak. It's quite scary for her opponent since she's only a sophomore. And even though Carolyn Snodgrass was the losing pitcher, the girl still has plenty of talent and stats backing her up. And I'm sure she's going to relish another chance against the Tartars later on in the season. Let's take a look at a few more scores. South went over Lawndale with a huge margin by 14-2 is the final score. And the Saxons have been busy kicking it up over the last couple league opponents, Lawndale and Centennial. They really never had a chance against North. Let's take a look at the current Pioneer League standings. North currently stands atop the league with the wins over Centennial and Lawndale. Torrance is second with a 7-6 overall record, and South is expected to move up in the standings. El Segundo is bound to rebound in the standings as league goes on. And let's go ahead and take a look at what ingredients to win. But they sure didn't mix it well in the first two games of their season, losing to Redondo by a run. It's a real heartbreaker, but falling to Penn 10-2 sucked up their momentum too. They fall 0-2 in league, but it's not over yet. So good luck there. And the Lady Knights of Bishop Montgomery, how I wish you could get a W. After a 4-1 loss against St. Joseph, their record worsens to 1-8. That's all for the softball news. But coming up after the break, the sports desk goes out to West Torrance to check out a few of the highlights from the South Bay Track Championships. There's some great finishes you'll have to see. Stick around.
Are you playing a dangerous game with the future of America's citrus? Move a citrus plant, and you could be spreading a disease that kills citrus. On its own, the disease can't move far, but in a car, an infected plant can travel miles. Move a citrus plant, and it could be game over for our citrus. Now it's your turn. Please, don't risk citrus. Don't move citrus. Learn more at saveourcitrus.org. A message from the USDA.
I've changed apartments several times. My roommates have always been trouble. Now, because of the economy, I've had to move back home. When my mom gets drunk, she tells me everything I do is going to fail. I get into arguments with her about her drinking. Dad goes to Al-Anon family groups. I didn't think Al-Anon would work for me, but every time I go, I feel better. If someone's drinking bothers you, you might find help in an Al-Anon family group meeting right here in our community. I found support there. You can too. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
Will I always be working weekends just to stay out of debt?
Is a great college for our kids?
Out of the question?
Is the American dream
Out of our reach?
Not if we can help it. We're the National Endowment for Financial Education, a non-profit organization dedicated to helping people just like you get smart about their money. Log on to smartaboutmoney.org today and start taking control of your financial life.
I'm Pete Carroll, and you're watching the Sports Desk.
Spring is here, so that means it's track and field time. Let's go ahead to West to take a gander at the South Bay Track Championships. This meet features schools all the way from Carson to Venice. And with such talent on the field and track, where would Torrance fit in? Well, how about some first place finishes for you? Let's take a look.
It isn't track and field season until the South Bay Championships happen at West Torrance. On the girls' side, Redondo, Carson, and Miracosta gained the top 3 spots, while West is led by pole vaulters Kayla Mallett and Robin Morioka, who both cleared 12 feet in the pole vault to lead their team to a 4th place finish for a total of 65 points. Mallett's continued domination was also in the triple jump, breaking a record of 38.11. She got second in the long jump. On the track, Arbity Megan of Carson really dominated the 100 and 200 meters. Kayla Gooseby got 3rd in the 200 meters. And here in this race, right about in the middle of your screen, 4th lane, she's going to get 2nd behind Arbity Megan in the 100 meters, coming in at 12:40. Gooseby's strong finishes would help lead her team to a 7th place finish with 32.5 points. South Torrance would come in at 9th at 19.5, and Lady Saxon Jocelyn Barnes got 1st in the high jump, helping her team to a 10th place overall finish. Now let's check the boys' results. North's Preston Lewis came in 1st in the 1600, recording a time of 4 minutes 24 and 1/10 of a second. Levi Cahill came in 3rd in the 800. And earlier that day in discus, behind 1st place J.R. Tavai of Miracosta, Weston Field gained 2nd, and coming in 3rd is Randall Baba of Torrance. Torrance team results placed them at 6th, and North Torrance comes in 7th with 32. The South Spartan boys would finish in 9th place with a total of 2017 points, all helped by Cody Smith right there in the center of your screen, lane number 4. Gonna finish this last hurdle for 1st place in the 300-meter hurdles, a time of 39.88. Whether or not these track and field athletes had a great showing or a positive finish, they all are ready and geared up for lead. The trackletes in the area use this meet as a bar for the CIF competition that's down the road, or the track rather. And if that's true, then Redondo, Carson, and Costa have a good shot at going deep in the CIF. But we can't count out West Torrance. They're not too shabby with a team score of 65. Torrance definitely got game in field events, gaining 7th place, and South came in 9th, and North 10th, and B Monty was there too and got 5 team points. Let's go ahead and see the individuals from Torrance that helped out their teams. Kayla Mallett and Robin Morioka both broke a meet record in the pole vault, getting up and over at 12 feet even. Now you'll notice that Kayla's 1st and Robin's 2nd. She comes in 2nd place because it took her 2 tries on the try before in the 11 feet 6 inches mark. Mallett again broke another record in the triple jump. And she also scored a 2nd place finish in the long jump. Kayla Gooseby ran a strong 100-meter race with a time of 12.40 in the 200 meter. She finished 3rd with 25.36 seconds. Girl's fast. And Jocelyn Barnes from North, you know, the basketball player, is also a track athlete. She went 1st in the high jump, clearing 5 feet 4 inches. Helping out the West team with points is Chantelane Trudeau, as she placed 2nd in the shot put. And finally, for the girls' individual meet records, Ashley Flanagan threw the discus 91 feet and 2 inches for 3rd place. Moving on to the boys' track and field results. Peninsula sees 1st with Carson, Costa, Palisades, and Redondo, all filling those first 5 spots. Torrance totaled 37 points for 6th place, and not far behind them is North with 32 team points. South brought home a 9th place finish, and West behind them with 24 total points. Looking at the boys' individual points, we see the athletes shine. They're going to definitely shine in league this season. North's Levi Cahill jockeyed for 3rd place in the 800,
meter going just under 2 minutes. And Saxon Preston Lewis, congratulations, you ran the 1600 in 4:24:01, blasting his competition for first place there. And Cody Smith gained first place in the 300-meter hurdles, doing it at 39:88. And Tartar Thomas Gunderson gained first place with a 14-foot plunge in the pole vault. Up and over he goes. Torrance also had another finisher in the shot put in Erwin Benson at 45.9½. And North's Weston Field handled that discus pretty well, throwing a distance of 139 feet and 4 inches. Randall Baba from Torrance came in third for discus at 135 and 10 inches. So we featured baseball, softball, and track. A quick note for you regarding Bishop Montgomery and Torrance, who both played in the Chadwick tournament. Torrance and Bishop Montgomery both got to the final game, but the Tartars won it all over the Knights, taking the whole tournament. Congrats to both teams. Now let's take a quick look at the Pioneer League standings. South stands atop currently at 3 wins, no losses for this Prep Boys volleyball. Standings in the Pioneer League, Torrance is second. North didn't play El Segundo last week, so that's why their games aren't as many, and I'm sure things will shake up after this game is played. So really, it's still anyone's chance to get into the playoffs. And let's go ahead and take a look at the way you can now get in touch with us at the Sports Desk. Please give us a call at 618-5762. You know, people call me and leave me messages, give me story ideas, or let me know of a correction I can make or something I can do. I love to do that. So you can email us too at the sportsdesk@torranceca.gov. Remember, we're nearing the end of the year, so if you've got any student athletes you think we need to cover or any Little League games, email us there. You can view all of our shows online at torranceca.gov. And all of the shows should be updated on YouTube right now, so go ahead and take a look at YouTube for all the shows from 2010 and 2011. That's all the time we have for you today. We got a lot more stuff coming up next week. Good luck to all those teams jockeying for position, particularly those that are in the tight races for the playoff spots. So Torrance, until next time, play hard.